You are listening to The Testimonial, a podcast of critical essays bearing witness to the forces that shape our world. We conduct historical autopsies, expose hidden systems, and decode the profound truths within culture, politics, and the seemingly whimsical. Each episode is a deep dive, a forensic investigation. This is the evidence. You are about to hear the testimonial on The Ghost in the Machine, the Unsung Saga of the Shipping Container.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're about to hear the testimony of the most important character in the story of globalization, and it cannot speak. It's a silent, inanimate object that, as we're about to see, had more power to shape our world than almost any other invention of the 20th century.
This testimony will argue that this simple box is the fundamental architectural unit of our modern world. Before it, the world was disconnected and expensive. After, it became integrated and abundant. But, this transformation, it came at a cost.
First, we'll conduct a historical autopsy of the world before the box, exposing the chaotic and costly era of break bulk shipping.
This was a world of controlled chaos. Just try to picture it. A port just swarming with thousands of workers, handling every single crate, every barrel, every sack, all by hand. It was slow, it was dangerous, and it was incredibly expensive. In fact, just loading a ship could cost almost as much as sailing it across the ocean. The scale of this inefficiency, it was just mind-blowing. Take the SS Warrior, a pretty typical cargo ship back then. It took 10 full days for teams of longshoremen to load 200,000 individual items onto it. Think about that. The cost, not just in labor but in time and theft, that could account for up to 75% of the total transport cost. The man who saw a solution wasn't some shipping magnate, but a trucker named Malcom McLean. He'd sit for days at the docks, watching this ridiculously slow process, and he had this simple but totally radical thought. Why are we unloading the cargo from the truck? Why don't we just lift the whole truck body right onto the ship? He saw the ship as just another piece of the road.
And he bet everything on that idea. He literally sold his multi-million-dollar trucking business just to buy a tiny old shipping line. And on April 26, 1956, his converted tanker, the SS Ideal X, sailed with 58 of his boxes on its deck. That one voyage kicked off a chain reaction, which eventually led to a fierce battle for standardization, and ultimately gave us the universal 20-foot and 40-foot boxes we see everywhere today.
Let's move on and see how this builds. We'll now present a forensic analysis of the container's incredible domino effect.
So, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer cost of the old system. It all came down to money. Before McLean's system, it cost $5.83 to load just 1 ton of cargo by hand.
And this brilliantly illustrates the revolution. McLean's system slashed that cost to just 16 cents a ton on its very first voyage. That's not just an improvement, that's a total game changer. A cost reduction of over 97%, basically overnight.
This wasn't just a cost savings, it vaporized the economic friction of distance. Before the box, transport could be a quarter of a product's final price. After, it just plummeted to less than 1%. Geography almost stopped mattering, financially, triggering this economic big bang that created the global supply chains we all depend on now.
The result was the consumer paradise we live in today, a world of unimaginable abundance and choice. That IKEA bookcase that's so affordable, it's designed to be flat-packed perfectly into a container. Those fresh Chilean grapes you can get in the middle of a Canadian winter, they travel in a refrigerated reefer container. This whole world we have is a direct consequence of that simple metal box.
But this efficiency was a brutal force. It decimated ancient port cities. The tens of thousands of skilled longshoremen who worked the docks, their livelihoods disappeared, almost overnight. It just erased entire communities built around the port economy.
So, the crucial point is that this hyper-efficient system created a new, terrifying kind of fragility.
Because the entire system now flows through a handful of narrow, vulnerable arteries. Instead of thousands of small ships and bustling ports, we now rely on massive ships and automated megaports. We put all our eggs in one basket. And the grounding of the Ever Given was a perfect, real-time experiment in systemic fragility. One ship, stuck for 6 days, halted nearly $10 billion in trade each day. It was a massive warning that our super-efficient system has basically zero margin for error.
And the system is designed for flow, not scrutiny. With 800 million container movements a year,
You just can't check them all. It's a mathematical fantasy. In most major ports, maybe 3% of boxes are ever actually opened and looked at.
And of course, this opacity has been weaponized. The same anonymity and volume that make the system so efficient also turn the shipping network into a superhighway for the world's black markets, smuggling everything you can imagine, hidden in plain sight.
So what is the verdict on this silent revolution? The box is guilty of orchestrating the most profound transformation since the Industrial Revolution.
It is both a miracle and the architect of our greatest weaknesses. It's the ultimate paradox, isn't it? It delivered this global abundance, but it's also the thing that designed our biggest systemic flaws. We embraced the efficiency and ignored the fragility. We live in a world designed by a box. Its simple, uniform geometry is stamped on our economy, our politics, and our planet. The question is no longer what this box can carry, but whether the world it built can carry on. You have been listening to The Testimonial on The Ghost in the Machine, the unsung saga of the shipping container. Follow us on social media at The Testimonial for updates and to join the conversation. If you believe a topic deserves a testimony, let us know.